The dismissal of Huskers defensive coordinator Eric Chenander and promotion of Bill Bush to defensive coordinator. Interim head coach Mickey Joseph will address the decision in a press conference tomorrow, which will break down tomorrow night on Sports Nightly. Elsewhere in Huskers news, the latest AVCA poll is out for women's volleyball, and after falling to Stanford then sweeping Kentucky last week, the Huskers dropped one spot to number 3 overall in the country. Texas and Louisville are the lone pair of teams ahead of the Huskers in the polls. And in the Big Ten, it's Wisconsin clocking in at 6, Ohio State at 7, falling from 5. Minnesota dropped to 8. Penn State rose to 9 as they remain undefeated on the season, and Purdue slipped from 10 to 11. In pro sports tonight, a couple of baseball games on. It is 9-1 Mariners blowing out the Angels. That's in the top of the 9th, 1 out away from finalizing that game. In the bottom of the second, it's a scoreless contest between the Cubs and Marlins. It's 1-0 Astros over the Rays. That's in the top of the second. In a few minutes, we'll see the start of the Tigers in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. At 6:20, it'll be the Nationals battling the Braves in Atlanta. The Mets take on the Brewers at 6:40 p.m. At 7:40, it's the Giants visiting the Rockies. At 9:10, it's the Diamondbacks facing the Dodgers in L.A. And then one final from earlier today, the Guardians crushed the Twins 11-4. Also in pro sports, the NFL, it was a crazy Sunday yesterday, but week 2 is not over yet. It's a doubleheader of Monday Night Football tonight. Game 1 kicks off in just about 10 minutes as the Tennessee Titans take on the Buffalo Bills in Buffalo. And Game 2 gets underway at 7:30 as the Vikings are in Philadelphia to take on the Eagles. This update is presented by Currency. Does your business need help financing big-ticket items like equipment, trucks, and trailers? Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Snap back. Thompson has it. Now dancing with his feet, rolling out. Looking for a man downfield. Going to take off and try to run with it. Now he scrambles back the other way. Looking, steps, throws downfield. Has Isaiah Garcia Castaneda. Makes a catch. 45 of Northwestern to the 40. Weaves his way to the 35, 30, 25, 20. Bumped out of bounds. My goodness, what a play. Casey Thompson.
Side set. Lindsey Krause, kaboom. 8-7 Nebraska set 2 after winning the first by 2.
Snap back. They give it off to Grant, right side. He is in. Touchdown, Nebraska. And the Huskers have the lead back here in Ireland.
Pepperdine volleyball. Bumped over to the left. Aaron swings. Stuffed. Match point, big red. Kalen Hall. Kennedy Hall. 25-22. Nebraska wins it in 3.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Well, it's already been a long day. I mean, my goodness, we were all up to watch the Queen's funeral earlier today at 5 a.m.
You did?
There were people in my house that did. I did not watch a lot of it.
I feel like how long has this been going on? There's like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not trying to be hateful, but
No.
there was like live coverage of a progression that happened, and then
They watched her whole car drive from the church to her summer home, and oh my God.
is it all done, all the festivities?
I think today was it,
But now we have to do the coronation of,
which could be a few months.
Oh,
for
okay.
King Charles. They'll wait a few months before that, maybe next spring, but they'll do it all over again for him.
yeah.
For that.
So
Yeah, I had people in my house that got up for the 5 a.m. I'm sure Andrew was up watching it too at 5 a.m. this
I
morning.
guess it's just been, you don't realize, and especially too because the last king or queen that died, it was so long ago that you didn't have this kind of media coverage.
Hardly anybody was alive.
So
last time it happened.
Well, and there was no Twitter or social media to
Right.
like live stream it the whole time.
There is Twitter, social media now. We know that, right, folks? What another rough weekend it was for the Cornhuskers as Oklahoma came in and showed off. They were very impressive. They looked like the number 6 team in the country as they put it to the Huskers on Saturday. And as Tim told you in the ticker, Eric Chenander dismissed as Nebraska defensive coordinator. And we've talked about it quite a bit the last several weeks. It's so puzzling to me how the defense dropped off this much from last year's group. And there's been so much made about they're not tackling enough in practice. I'm telling you, their practices have been exactly the same last year as they are this year, and they were the same thing 2 years ago. And that defense a year ago was really salty. Now, we lost a handful of veteran guys, and we missed them, no doubt. But I can't believe it. They're getting carved up the way they've been carved up.
Yeah, and to me, I think it all starts up front and not necessarily with I just think it's the amount of bodies. I mean, the line change that was able to go last year.
Yeah.
And, some guys that had played a bunch of football that just understood, that had just been around and had that experience. And so I think that, to me, it's just so different when you can run in a line change and keep bodies fresh and not drop off in the level of talent and play, to be able to stay fresh the whole time. I mean, I was seeing at the end of the game last week or on Saturday, I mean, it seemed like a lot of the starters were still having to go back in there for the defensive line. They just don't have the depth that they had a year ago. So to me, that's where it all starts up front. I did think we did see a little bit of a difference, at least in the first drive, that having Nick Hendrich back will help moving forward. And it's been really, really puzzling because there's still been guys that were here a year ago that should keep that standard. Even Marquise Buford, I understand he's starting for the first time, but he's been in this defense. Miles Farmer, Quentin Newsom, three guys back there in the secondary that have been around and been a part of this system. And then the two inside linebackers, and I know Nick just got back. And then, just to me, it just seems like there's enough guys that have been around that should understand the standard of a defense. But yeah, it's really gone down. And for me, I think a lot of it too is confidence. It's they're pretty. When things go wrong, we haven't seen them respond in the way that, in a year ago, if teams would score or something would happen, it seemed like they'd get pretty ticked off and come back out and respond from it. And I don't think we're seeing that kind of response from the defense when things start to go off the rails a little bit.
Talked to a handful of the coaches on the staff, and I said, did you see this coming back in August? And to a man, they're like, no. There were a lot of days in the August prep where the defense dominated the offense. And so that nobody saw this coming. And then we get to that game with Northwestern and Ireland, and it's just been off the rails since. And Eric Chandler's a good man. I think he's a good football coach. He did some really good things. This is the same guy who last year we go to Michigan State, they don't get a first down in the second half on their home field. I mean, that defense choked them off a year ago. And he's doing the same thing, same drills he did last year, the year before. It's just not working. And unfortunately, and I'm not disagreeing at all with the move by Coach Joseph. I think you had to try to change. You got to try to change something right now with 8 games to go. And unfortunately, he's out. And Bill Bush, who I have all the respect for and confidence in, he'll take over that defense.
Well, and just the background and the connection that Mickey and Coach Joseph have together, having worked together at LSU for so long. Coach Bush understands Coach Joseph and what they want to do and accomplish. But yeah, I mean, Eric Shander was such a good human being, so nice, so kind, and his players adored him.
Yeah.
Really, really loved him. And so I'll be interested to see how they respond. I'm with you. I understand that a move had to be made, but I do know that he was very well liked by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. And so I think last week was really, really tough on this team. And as much as, they believe in Mickey and he's going to bring the energy and try to instill that belief, and they needed a different voice, I think it's been tough for this team. And you feel bad for these players because they don't want to go out there and lose like that. And they don't want to be 1-3 going into the bye week. But they've just I think a bye week, a lot of times you want to not have a bye week coming off a loss, but this bye week is very much needed.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll get in there, they'll right some of the wrongs, but also just work on the mentality and just pick themselves back up, I think is the big thing for me. Is just you got to figure out a way to get that confidence back, that belief, and not shut down when things start to go wrong.
Bill Bush did some of the analyst work on the defensive side of the ball a year ago, so he knows a lot of what has been installed. He will change some things, and now with the bye week, you can do some of the tweaks to that. And I think there's probably a chance you're going to see some different personnel out there. I mean, the one thing about Saturday's game, because it was basically over at half, you saw the Huskers play a lot of different people in the second half, and they're going to break down that tape. How did a Blaze Gunnarsson or Jamari Butler compete when they got their chance to go out there? How Brandon Moore, keep on going down the line of all the twos that got a chance to go see. We may see some twos elevated to ones and see if that changes the dynamics.
Absolutely. What's crazy is that was the first chance a lot of those players got to play.
Correct.
Because the first 3 games just never really were out of hand enough. You didn't win the 2. You didn't win Georgia Southern, which was a game you would hoped that maybe you could get some bodies on the field. Same thing with North Dakota. And so you haven't really had the chance to get some of those guys in any game action. And I know we heard Coach Joseph say it at half, and I know he wants to be called Mickey, right? What Mickey said at half about just fight. So which guys came out at halftime and fought? And I got to imagine, because, we've talked about this. He's talked about this. His players talked about this. I bet he got on to some of his wide receivers after that, because some of those wide receivers did not perform up to the standard that he has for those guys either.
Well, you think about it. 2 of the fumbles were wide receivers. We had 2 false start penalties on wide receivers. That's really kind of inexcusable. Those guys are staring at the ball. There's really no reason for a wide receiver to ever have a false start. We had 2 of them in the game.
Well, and just the details that you hear and so it was just so uncharacteristic, I feel like, for those wide receivers.
Agreed. So, and hey, tip your cap to Oklahoma. That was a really good football team, by far the best team Nebraska's played this year. And maybe Michigan might have something to say about it, but maybe the best team Nebraska's going to play all year long with their athletes. It's not going to be that week in and week out. But it also shows you how far away you are based on the performance of that game on Saturday. Buckle up with the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. This is kind of your show tonight. We are going to hear Jessica's post-game interview with Travis Vokalek later on in the program. Hour number 2, Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com will join us. We'll get his take on the first month of the college football season, his take on what's been happening around the country. Another dismissal yesterday with Herm Edwards being let go at Arizona State. Does Adam anticipate any more coming down the pike? We'll talk to him about all those subjects coming up in the second hour of the show. But if you want to be a part of it with a call or a text, 402-413-2400. Let's start out in North Platte. Jim, good evening. Welcome to the program.
Well, I thank you for taking my call. I would just like to say, even defense wins ball games, defense wins championships until we get another Charlie McBride in here, where Body Kiffin in here, the defense is going to struggle. When is the defense going to get back to the old glory days, 70s and 80s and 90s? When is the offense going to get back there? When are they going to want to play in a bowl game? I'm not trying to be rude. They get some of that self-pride back in even our football team. Go Big Red. Thank you.
All right, Jim, thanks. Yeah, it's not that they don't want all that. They do. It's just not happening right now with this team. And John Cook would echo what you said, Jim. He was on ESPN after their match yesterday, Kentucky, and they talked about his team. And he says, well, I start with defense. I'm an old high school defensive coordinator for football. It starts with defense. So a lot of people would agree with you. And that's what we all felt all spring and summer, that the culture on that side of the ball was in a good spot, that a lot of the good habits had been passed down from the Dolmans of the world down to the guys that are taking over this year, but it just hasn't worked out this year. Got a text question. Will Chenander be paid his entire contract? Yep. Any contract that these coaches sign, they get paid to the end of their deal. So hope that handles that. Let's talk to Roger next up on Sports Sunday. Good evening, sir.
Hey, guys. I want to thank you for doing what you're doing. I've listened to your show for several years, never called in before. But just wanted to say, I think what happened Saturday is part of fire a coach when he was given a year to turn things around. And I just really pulling the rug out of players and other coaches. I heard Tom earlier. I fully agree with the fact that the defensive players really love their coach, and I just don't understand quite why you fired again after 4 games. That's just my comment.
Okay, thanks, Roger. Really yeah, appreciate it. He was cutting in and out of there. Could you get?
I didn't hear what he had said. Maybe if you text in, Roger, we heard a little bit at the beginning.
Yeah, I was cutting in and out. I couldn't quite get to all your thoughts. I think you're talking about, changing coaches mid-season. That certainly is a worry. The Eric Chenander move, I get that from Coach Joseph, but, I don't know that the program, I don't know if the players can handle much more change within the season than that. Those are 2 huge pieces, right? The head coach and the defensive coordinator. It's hard to do this in the middle of a swing of all of this because you've already installed all your offense and defense. You can certainly tweak things going around. But, hey, this is not ideal. Nobody knows, and everybody knows this is not an ideal situation, but this is where Nebraska is right now, 1-3.
And I just think, again, it's I don't even know at this point, because we haven't talked to the players much. You're going to hear from Travis Vogelak post-game, and Nick Henrich, same thing. They still believe in the players in this locker room. And they like this team, but I don't know if they're the emotions and all of that is more so because of the coaching changes as it is just the disappointing start to the season and not being able to get the things done on the field that they all wanted to, the transfer guys that came in to get things done to help this program win. And then the players that have been here and been around and thought this was the year that they'd win more games. And I think they've just been very, very disappointed with their performances. And I don't know, again, how you flip that switch of that confidence and that belief and that being really, really defeated, how you change that. I don't know. I mean, that's why I'm not coaching, and hopefully Mickey Joseph has a recipe for that. But I think they've got to get mentally right moving forward to even be able to turn this at all into something positive this season.
Winning would change a lot of that, but no chance to do that for 12 days until the next game with Indiana. Doug in Norfolk on our text line said, what did Bill Busch coach when he was at LSU? He was the safeties coach in 18, 19, and 20 at LSU. He was at Rutgers as the co-defensive coordinator in 2016 and 17. He with Nebraska last year was the defensive analyst. So he studied this defense. He knows our personnel really well. So I think this was a natural move to make Bill that. And Bill's another kind of in the same form, Jessica, as Mickey, is that he's a very upbeat guy. I think the players like him. I think they like his style of coaching. He's very much a player's coach.
Yeah, absolutely. Players adore him. And again, I think if Mickey's trying to change some things to, again, you mentioned, you can't just install a whole new defense at this point, but, changing some things, tweaking some things. You want a guy that is on the same page as you. And I just think because Bill Busch and Mickey Joseph go far back together, and honestly, they've been through this before where Ed Orgeron was replaced and they both were on that staff, right? I know Mickey Joseph was Bill was there.
Here. Bill was here last year.
Okay, but when the transition happened, when Coach O had to step in the middle of the season, Bill was there, wasn't he?
I think he might have been there. Yeah.
I think he was there during that time when they had the interim coach with Coach Orgeron before he was named the head coach, is what I was getting at.
Right.
So they've been through this situation before where LSU went on and won quite a few games that year after that coaching change. So probably understands the changes that Mickey also wants to instill and in this team moving forward. So probably, too, just on the same page. But also, yes, the players love Bill Busch.
Let's go back to the phones, out to Kearney and Randy. Good evening, Randy.
How's it going?
Good.
Hey, kind of want to apologize for what I said last week. It was out of line. But anyway.
You're forgiven.
I knew the game was over before it ever started. And I'm really surprised Oklahoma didn't run and score up any more than what they did. They easily could have hung 70, if not 80 on them. But and I don't know if it's so much coaching with the defense, but I was at the game Saturday, and there was, especially on that, I don't know who plays zero on defense. I forgot his name. He could have had their quarterback. He quit on that play. A lot of the defense players quit on the play.
The long scramble.
They just took a play off. And that's BS. If they're going to quit, put them on the sideline. That's all I got to say.
Okay, I think Mickey Joseph would agree with you.
I was
that
about
if he
to
sees
say
lack
that.
of effort, you're not going to play.
I mean, and I've said that. I've done reports on that on the sidelines. I mean, he's going to get after them.
Yep.
And he came over there to the defense and was letting a few of them know about that play. It wasn't just Tommy Hill. It was a few players that did not do what they needed to do to get that play, get Dylan Gabriel on the ground. So he's going to let him know. And I think if you're not doing your job, he's not going to play. He's going to find somebody that will come in and do the job.
Stephen Bellevue on our text line said, guys, I'm guessing A.D. Alberts had to sign off on the defensive coordinator getting let go, but was it Joseph's call or Trev's? I think it was Mickey's call, but you're right. He would have had to run that by Trev to make sure he was okay with that. But I'm pretty convinced this was Mickey Joseph's call to let Eric Chenander go.
Well, he said that. I mean, Trev said that this is his team and it's his decisions
and he'll support
to make.
Him. Yeah. Our Sports Sunday Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. Keep them coming, folks. 402-413-2400 calls and text. More of the show coming up.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Students in Nebraska's Rake School of Computer Science and Management created software that is saving a Nebraska e-commerce company 34,000 hours of work per year. Created by a group of 5 Rake School students for their Design Studio Capstone project, this software is one of 300 real-world software solutions created by Rake School students.
Want to get all the latest Husker news straight to your phone? Need to be the first of your friends to get the scoop on all things Huskers? Sign up for text alerts from Nebraska Athletics. Text Huskers to 83200 to get game time notifications and updates, breaking news, special ticket offers, and more straight to your phone. All the Husker news is just a quick text away. Just text Huskers to 83200. Standard text messaging rates apply and may vary by carrier.
Woodhouse at Lincoln offers more than just vehicles. Steeped in tradition, Lincoln customers are offered 100 years of car building excellence, insightful technologies, luxury interior amenities, and benefits of the state-of-the-art showrooms and service departments. Convenient pickup and delivery, and an online buying experience that can be done anywhere. The simplicity of purchasing and owning makes shopping the Metro's exclusive Lincoln dealer an easy choice. Explore how Woodhouse Lincoln can change your drive today at woodhouselincoln.com.
Farmers can make what seems impossible reality with a little hard work and ingenuity. They find solutions to reduce inputs and improve their yield. Valley Irrigation is no different. As the leader in irrigation technology, we deliver results and optimize your operation. Because when you have a vision for the future, you need the people that can make it possible by your side. Expect what's next. Expect what's possible from Valley. Visit us at valleyirrigation.com.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska exists to be there with you. They are rooting for the schools and teachers who make our communities great. That's why Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska is proud to sponsor Touchdowns for Teachers and ask Husker fans to nominate outstanding educators who help Nebraska students reach their potential. If there's a teacher you want to recognize for the impact they've made in your community, find a nomination form at huskers.com/touchdownsforteachers. More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Agriculture is the economic engine of the Midwest. At Acres Equipment, we dedicate ourselves to making that engine run smoothly. We supply our farmers and ranchers with quality John Deere equipment, parts, and service. We also deliver the most advanced technology and precision ag strategies to help them farm today and for the future. Acres Equipment, solutions for every field.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients, so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Farmers Mutual of Nebraska is proud to support Husker athletics. Having a confident teammate beside you makes all the difference when it comes to protecting what matters most. With a proven track record of dependable coverage, unmatched financial strength, and a prompt claim service team right here in Nebraska, that's insurance kept local. Visit FMNE.com to contact an agent for a quote today. Farmers Mutual of Nebraska, always alongside you.
Preparation. It's the key to success on game day. And like your favorite Huskers on the field, you need to be ready right from the opening kickoff. Cenex has your pre-game routine covered. We've got your salty snacks, your sweet treats, ice-cold beverages to wash them down, and fresh tanks of propane to fire up the grill. Fuel your fandom at your local Cenex station. Husker Pride, powered locally.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture, and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you. It's a post-game Monday here on Sports Island. The couch is open for business. 402-413-2400 to Omaha we go. John, you're up next on the program. Good evening.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
Good.
Okay, I just want to start by saying, number one, Jessica is a star. Whoever made the decision to hire her should be making personnel decisions somewhere around the team, I think. I just love the dynamic between you two.
Thank you, John. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. Here's what I'm wondering. How is Hunter Anthony or Kevin Williams, or Keith Williams, Kevin Williams, how are they not better than Bryce Benhart? He may be a wonderful kid, but I don't see him as a big-time college football player. He makes a lot of mistakes. He misses a lot of blocks. I don't see all the film, but other guys like Henry Latowski, how is he not better than Brock Bando? At least get him some time. And what about Kane Williams, the kid they got from Alabama? Where is he?
Yeah, Kane has been sick. He had COVID back in August. He missed a bunch of the camp. He's getting close. I think you may see Kane Williams. And you're right. I think you may see some shakeup along the offensive line. Bryce has played. This is his third year as a starter over there. So I think maybe now Williams played a lot Saturday. He played a lot at left guard. Hunter
because
Anthony.
Teddy went out and they moved Turner out to left tackle.
Out. Yeah, so Williams played a lot, but we have not seen Hunter Anthony play.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if John was listening in on the commercial break, because I was just talking about Hunter Anthony and how positive he is on the sideline. He's a guy that is helping coach the players up in that offensive line huddle. He's talking to Coach Raiola about some of the things he sees. He's up and down the sideline trying to pick up the defense. So I would like to see him get a shot too, just simply because it seems like he really wants a chance. Again, maybe once you got through this week and you get to the bye week and we see some of those changes, maybe he will be a guy that we see more of.
Andrew on our text line in Norfolk, who's going to coach special teams now? Joey Connors has been the special teams quality control, and I would imagine he will take over a good chunk of that with Bill Bush now being the defensive coordinator. Another John joins us, this one from Lincoln. Good evening, sir.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, a couple questions about defense. I hear a lot of people talking about how they're not very energetic and stuff. I was just wondering if there's anything they could do strategically, maybe, I don't know, drink a cup of coffee before they go in and do something, before they play the game. Also, I was just kind of wondering, strategically, with all the planning that goes behind all the plays and stuff, I was just wondering if if the players are actually enjoying the plays, if they get to pick some of the plays, or does the coach mainly make those decisions, or is it kind of split? I guess another question would be, maybe you got somebody on offense that wants to trade positions with somebody on defense, and that might work or something. I don't know. Do you think like the coaches look into that stuff that often?
John, appreciate the call. I'll try to pick those off. They generally will flirt with position changes in spring ball. They will kind of maybe try somebody who might be a defensive lineman and move them to the offensive lineman, or vice versa. Or maybe you have a guy who's a wide receiver that you want to try a defensive back. That's kind of more of a spring football type thing there. No, the players can have some input during the game about, hey, I think this might work. But as far as calling the plays and designing the whole, that's all coaches that design the whole game plan.
Yeah, I do think that you'll see players see things on the field that the coaches don't see. A guy like Travis Vokalek a lot of times is very vocal, talking with players, with Casey Thompson, with Coach Becton, with Coach Raiola, with Mickey, about some of the things he might see out there, because he's very, very smart, wants to be a coach. So I think he sees some things. And then I think there are some things on, some of the defensive players might see, but for the most part, I think it's coaches that make those decisions. And I think it's maybe a constant conversation that's happening between what the players are seeing and then what the coaches are seeing. But for the most part, it's the coaches that make those calls.
Right. And I think the third thing he wanted to ask was about giving the guys a shot of coffee or some Red Bull. I think they're pretty jacked up, and I think they were really jacked up to start the game the other day, and they got the stop early in the game. The offense went and scored, and that quarterback draw that Gabriel took down the sideline was just a backbreaker for the defense. But the next time Oklahoma got the ball, they forced them to punt there too. So I thought the energy was pretty good to start the game.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, that was as juiced up as I've seen the sideline, and they were fired up, and especially once they got that first stop. And they were pretty down. They were pretty upset about that big play, but that's the coaches and all of them, all the defensive coaches. It's one play that you can't get caught up on that one play. You got to move on from that, and they did. But then, it kind of went downhill a little bit after that. But Oklahoma made some adjustments.
They did,
and found some ways that they could get the offense going.
Visit a participating AGCO dealer between now and November the 4th and enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the Nebraska-Wisconsin game in Lincoln on November 19th. Plus, you'll get a pregame tailgate party. See participating AGCO locations across Nebraska, and you could be a winner this season. Back to the phones. Over to Iowa. Bill, you're up next on the program.
Well, thanks for taking my call. I hear being talked about out there about coaching and experience and everything else. I think the Huskers have got some great athletes. But what about strength and conditioning? It seems to be missing. And it's not like it was back in the 80s. Not like in the 70s when Boyd Epley was leading that program and they were at the cutting edge of strength and conditioning and pushing other people around. I don't see it. I see a lot of soft players. And I don't see them having the stamina. I saw hands on their hips on Saturday halfway through the first quarter. What do people think about that?
No, that's a fair point, and that has been brought up. I think Jay Foreman has addressed that some in Big Red Reaction. And, Nebraska prides themselves on having a great strength and conditioning staff. Zach Duvall is really highly thought of. He came from the school of Boyd Epley. He's really using Boyd Epley's plans. But I think you kind of wonder, is the conditioning good enough? And you go back to the decision in August, Jessica, where they did the 3 days of practice and a day off, 3 days of practice and a day off. They had some science behind that. They thought that was the best way to do that. Did that hurt them? I don't have the answer to that. I'm just throwing that out there that maybe they need to look at that.
Yeah, I mean, had talked about that. Jeremiah had talked about that he had never been part of a team on our podcast, Jeremiah Searles, and so that he had never been a part of a team that did that. And so I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. I also just going back to the guys that look gas to me were the guys on the defensive line that are playing a lot of snaps.
Right.
So that, again, going back to that lack of depth that they had a year ago, that they could run a lot of guys in and out.
Let's take one more caller before our next break. Pete in Kansas City joins us. Good evening, Pete.
Hi, how you guys doing? Thanks for taking my call. The thing I have with this team and what has been going on for the last few years is that I think that the first quarter is a perfect example. They played excellent that first drive and that first series. Then they had that bad play against them that the Oklahoma scored, and they just stopped playing. And I think this team is basically quitting for no good reason, that they just don't want to keep playing. I don't like the fact that Mickey Joseph took responsibility for the loss, because as far as I'm concerned, the players are responsible for the loss. The coaches call the plays. Execution is totally by the players, and if they don't execute it, there's no play. I don't understand how these guys are supposed to be the cream of their high schools and got recruited. They should know how to basic block. They should know how to tackle. They should know how to run plays. It almost seems like they don't know any of this stuff. My final thing is like what Herb Brooks said, the Miracle on Ice coach. He said that success is won by those who believe in winning and then prepare for that moment. And then you want to win, but how many want to prepare? That is the big difference. A sound value system held water then, holds water today, and will hold water in the future. And I don't think that the players have got onto that. I don't think they have the desire. I don't know what they need to do to get that desire, if Mickey Joseph and the coaching staff can establish that in them. But to me, the players need to do that from within and hold each other accountable and not make excuses and have the coaches take the heat for it all. Thanks.
All right, Pete, appreciate it. I for one, I applaud Mickey for saying that after the game. He's trying to deflect attention and put it on himself and trying to keep his football team have some positive feelings walking out of the building. I appreciated what he said after the game.
But on the flip side of that, what he just said, the players that got up there and spoke said, no, that's on us. We understand that he's going to get up here and say that, but we're the ones out there that didn't execute those exact words that he was just saying.
Right.
That's what Miles Farmer said. That's what Travis Vokalek said. They didn't allow Mickey to. They stood up there and said, no, we know we got to go out there and play. We got to go out there and make the tackles. We got to go out there and do what we're supposed to do. And I just think it's in a team in a really bad place emotionally because it hasn't gone the way that they've wanted to go. And I just, you hope that you can go into the bye week and fix some of that. But I agree. I mean, I've been saying that with as far as when things go wrong, you haven't seen this team always respond how they need to respond. And it's not going to always go your way in a football game. It's not. I mean, things are not going to go perfect. You're not going to shut down a team every single time they have the ball. You're not going to score. Maybe you hope to, but you're not going to score probably every time you have the ball. So how do you respond from that? And I don't think this team has responded well in some of those times, which has led to sometimes a snowball effect in games.
Irvin Schuyler kind of follows that up. Do you remember Jack Stark? Jack was a legendary psychologist that Tom Osborne used for years. He said this team needs a Jack Stark. Nebraska has a pretty big-sized psychology department that works with these teams. They talk to these players over and over and over again. So again, the resources are there. They've got ways, and I know a lot of the players go and take advantage of that.
Yeah, and at some point, it is you have to want it yourself, and the players have to want it, and then the leaders have to step up. And I think it's not been helpful that Travis Vokalek and Nick Henrich have been sidelined.
Right.
They're the two captains. You have two of your four captains, and your only offensive captain that have been on the sidelines. And there's just only so much you can do. So I think those captains need to step up. Those leaders, Casey Thompson, they got to try to figure out a way to bring this football team together as leaders, and it's got to come from within. Absolutely. I mean, the coaches and the psychology department, they can only do so much. At some point, it's got to be on the players, and I think they recognize that. You just got to go get it done.
Buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. More of the show coming up.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. Based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
Can you name one thing that's more exciting than football in Nebraska? Okay, maybe not, but there's something that comes close. Scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. That's right. Choose from a variety of play styles with huge top prizes. There's something fun for everyone. So, when football isn't on, pick up some scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
Subaru loves building vehicles for those who pack a lot into life. The 2023 Crosstrek is their way of saying more power to you. With 182 horsepower, you have a world of fun and adventure waiting for you. And the Crosstrek comes with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive. Love is out there. Find it in the Crosstrek. 182 horsepower engine available on select models. DeToe Subaru, located at 2750 Jamie Lane in Lincoln, and online at DeToeSubaru.com.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients, so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Sid Dillon Chevrolet, we help you find vehicles designed with purpose and function, prioritizing safety, technology, and the dependability you need. Visit our Chevy locations in Blair, Crete, Fremont, or Wahoo to shop in-stock and inbound inventory or to order your new vehicle. And as your Chevrolet Business Elite dealer, we offer commercial vehicles including medium-duty trucks and low-cab forwards. Visit SidDillonChevy.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
Chevy, find new roads.
I'm so glad we called SOS. Our AC is the coldest.
I'm always the coldest.
SOS to the rescue.
Hey, this is Dakota Crawford, wide receiver from Louisiana, now playing in Lincoln. When your AC isn't the coldest, you call SOS Heating and Cooling. Their techs don't make commissions, so they give you an honest opinion, fair pricing, and longer warranties than the competition guaranteed. Take it from the coldest. We will keep you cool this summer.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Hey, Husker fans, it's time to gear up for the season. So let's do it right. Jerseys, hats, hoodies, and more. Shields has everything you need to show your Nebraska pride. Visit our fan shop online or in-store for the biggest and best brands in the game. You'll find the right gear to level up your team spirit with all the essentials for your pregame parking lot party. Shields, proud partner of Husker Athletics and football fans everywhere.
This is our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Phone lines are full. Let's get to some calls. Jerry in Rockport, you're up next. Good evening.
Good evening, Jessica and Greg. How are you guys tonight?
Good. Thanks for calling in, Jerry.
Well, I sure enjoy your show. I echo numerous things that's been said already, so I try not to be repetitive. But I do have a couple of points that I think need to be addressed. Why do we not play complementary football? We go out there on offense and we run around like fire ants and keep the ball for 3 plays and use up a short minute, then go back out and then wonder why the defense is worn out and exhausted. And then the other comment I'd like to make is the entitlement that, we are duped into. We have all the life skills, the training, you name it, the fans to fill the stadium, everything that a young student athlete would want to attend Nebraska. And it seems like that has gone unappreciative from the players. And I know Jessica really alluded to that on some other comments about it's up to the players. And I sat in those stands and I watched them and like that was atrocious on that scramble by Gabriel. I mean, there was half the team didn't want to touch him. I mean, it was like flag football going down the sideline. So, it gets very, very, very upsetting to have all the facilities and amenities that they have and still can't put a product out there with want to. And no wonder Mickey and that. It's good to see somebody cares that'll jack everybody up on on the players and the coaches in that regard.
Jerry, great points. And, I'm looking back to the drive charts. Nebraska had the football 14 times. 11 of the 14 drives were less than 2 minutes off the clock. And that's a fair point. When you know your defense is struggling, you maybe want to try to shorten the game and not go lickety-split and have a 3-and-out and turn the ball over. So it's a team game. If the offense had moved it more, the defense wouldn't have been out there as much. Oklahoma probably wouldn't have put up as many points. That's a very fair comment about complementary football.
Absolutely. And I think that's been from – we saw a little bit of it. I guess I was thinking about Northwestern. There were, I guess, maybe the offense played really well, but then, anyways, going back to North Dakota, when the defense would play well, then the offense wouldn't, and the offense would play well, then the defense wouldn't, and then the next week, same thing, and the offense played really well, the defense didn't, and the players all said that, both offense and defense, we've got to play better complementary football. They know it, they just haven't been able to put it all together, and there were flashes we've seen from the offense, but I think, the injury on the lines, and then, a couple of the guys tweaked, maybe Casey a little tweaked a little bit. I think that just was kind of did not allow for them to do much to take some time off the clock either.
Jerry, great points. Thanks so much for calling down there in Missouri. And then you did hear the coach after the game say that Teddy Prohaska is getting shut down for the year. So his season is over. They'll get a redshirt year back for him because he did not redshirt last year. So now you're down that big fella as one of your tackles. Our Sports Nightly Hotline is brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you're looking for with Woodhouse. Back with our final segment of the hour next.
Husker fans, join us in celebrating excellence in women's athletics. Meet student athletes and alumni from every Nebraska women's program and commemorate the 50th anniversary of Title IX at the More is Possible Rally on Saturday, October 8th at Bolin Stadium. This event will begin at 10:30 a.m. and is free for all ages. Register today at huskers.com/Title IX.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
There's a call on the field for a quality seed specific to where you farm. Make the right call with Prairie Valley. With local research in 8 regions throughout Nebraska, Prairie Valley performs with their locally specific hybrids and varieties while achieving the highest quality and yield. No matter where you farm in Nebraska, Prairie Valley has the seed for where you are. Find a local dealer and learn more about the seed for where you are at prairievalleyseeds.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
At Groundworks, we take great pride in helping our Nebraska neighbors keep their homes healthy. From repairing foundations to waterproofing basements to fixing crawl spaces or lifting concrete driveways. We'd like to think our customers choose us because of our attention to detail or the fact that we're the nation's leading foundation solutions provider. What gives our customers the most comfort is we're right here in Nebraska. Visit groundworks.com for a free estimate. Groundworks, foundation solutions crafted with pride. The official foundation company of the Huskers.
Backed by popular demand, Hy-Vee drive-through flu shot clinics. Just follow the signs in your Hy-Vee parking lot to get your flu shot right from your car. It's easy, convenient, and no appointment or prescription is necessary. Drive-through flu shots are offered on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 3 to 7 p.m. Or get your flu shot inside your Hy-Vee pharmacy at any time with no appointment necessary. Plus, when you get your flu shot at Hy-Vee, you get a 20-cent Hy-Vee fuel saver. Some restrictions apply.
Our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Time now for the Special Teams Diagnosis presented by Nebraska Cancer Specialist, Nebraska's leading community oncology practice. Well, the Huskers used 2 punters. Brian Buschini rolled an ankle making a tackle on a punt. He averaged 40.8 yards a kick. Timmy Bleekrode had a great punt, 51 yards on his. I thought Brendan Franke was terrific on kickoff Saturday, but the punt return unit gave up some big chunks as Marvin Mims had a couple of big punt returns, including a 34-yarder that set up Oklahoma. So kind of a mixed bag for the special teams on Saturday. Nebraska Cancer Specialist delivers compassionate, personalized, and cutting-edge care in a convenient outpatient setting. They are committed to providing exceptional care and continued support to patients, families, and caregivers. A couple of callers still on the line. Hang on if you want, or call back after the top of the hour break. We got a lot more of the show coming up. We're going to hear from Travis Vokalek, Jessica's post-game interview with him, and Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com will be here. We'll talk the national picture of college football with Adam coming up in hour number 2. That went fast. A lot of great stuff. A lot of really good calls tonight.
Yeah, really good perspectives and had been too negative, so appreciate that.
Well, and it's fine to be negative if you've got something behind it other than just calling people names. Love that stuff. All right, back with hour number 2. Sports Highlight coming up next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
In America, the future belongs to everyone. So we designed the Ford trucks of the future for everyone. Ford F-Series, America's best-selling trucks for 45 years straight. Made for performance and capability on and off-road. Because the trucks of the future aren't designed for a few. They're built for America. Ford F-Series. Drive one today. based on 1977 to 2021 calendar year total sales.
A DUI is everything you didn't prepare for. You did not save for it. You did not train for it. You did not go to school for it. You did not raise your family or buy a house or get a job for it. It is not your life goal or a dream come true. You have planned for everything in your life. You did not plan for a DUI. Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
I'm University of Nebraska-Lincoln student Hannah Pham with Campus News. Nebraska has taken over leadership from Princeton University in coordinating the U.S. physics community at the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. For its role, Nebraska has been awarded over $50 million in National Science Foundation grants. This cutting-edge work at the world's largest particle accelerator helps physicists uncover the origins and makeup of the universe.
With the GoCurrency.com sports ticker, I'm Tim Mulhaupt on the Huskers Radio Network. Welcome into a new Monday, Huskers fans. The news out of Nebraska football yesterday was the dismissal of Eric Chenander and the promotion of Bill Bush to defensive coordinator. Interim head coach Mickey Joseph will address the decision in a press conference tomorrow, which we'll break down right here on Sports Nightly tomorrow night. Elsewhere in Huskers news, the latest AVCA poll is out for women's volleyball, and after falling to Stanford and then sweeping Kentucky last week, the Huskers dropped one spot to number 3 overall in the country. Texas and Louisville are the lone pair of teams ahead of the Huskers in the polls. In the Big Ten, Wisconsin clocked in at 6, Ohio State fell from 5 to 7, Minnesota dropped to 8, Penn State rose to 9, they remain undefeated, and Purdue slipped from 10 to 11. In pro sports tonight, several baseball games underway. Right now, the Marlins are beating the Cubs 7-2, top of the 5th. Astros lead the Rays 1-0. Potential future playoff series there. That's in the bottom of the 5th. Again, Houston with the 1-0 lead. The Tigers are up 1-0 over the Orioles in the top of the 4th. The Braves lead the Nationals 1-0 in the bottom of the 3rd. No score between the Mets and Brewers in the bottom of the 2nd. And getting started in about a half hour, maybe 35 minutes or so, the Giants and Rockies meet in Colorado. At 9:10, the Diamondbacks take on the Dodgers in L.A. 2 finals from earlier today. The Guardians beat up on the Twins 11-4, and the Mariners laid a beating down on the Angels, winning that one 9-1. In the NFL tonight, it's 2 Monday Night Football games. The first one is tied currently, right behind a 7-7 between the Bills and the Titans. Derrick Henry, the latest score in that one, as he continues his success against the Bills in his career. And then game 2 getting started here in about 25 minutes will be the Vikings taking on the Eagles in Philadelphia. This update is presented by Currency. Currency makes financing quick, easy, and secure for heavy machinery, ag equipment, trucks, trailers, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. That's the ticker. I'm Tim Mulhaupt, and Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is next on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who reminds you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Good pass by Kubik, outside set. Whitney Lonstein, kaboom! You can only try to slow her down. You can't stop Whitney. Boy, she's gravity's worst enemy.
Give it off to Grant. He picks his way inside the 45, bounces to the outside, 40, 35, 30, foot race now, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Now outside, Mississippi blocked. Kalen Horn, Whitney Lonstein. That's a combined 13 feet of humanity. We're tied at 19 in Lincoln.
Snap back to Casey. Throws downfield looking for Trey Palmer. He goes up, and did he hang on at the 37-yard line? He did. What a grab by Trey Palmer.
Beautiful pass, back set. Lindsey Krause, kaboom! 19-18, Big Red.
Chancellor Brewington in the game. The block, they fake the handoff. Casey rolls out, flips it out in the flat. Brewington makes a catch. He's going to go down to the goal line. Touchdown, Nebraska. Going to roll out, flip to Chancellor Brewington, and he scores. It's his second career Husker touchdown.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back for hour number 2 of our Monday night show, hearing JB there in the open. What a nice answer by Husker volleyball. On the road, ranked team sweep them.
And no Nicklin Hames on the court. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yes, that was a great performance. And you heard us talking with Coach Cook a little bit. We ran out of the time at the end, but there's no AC in that gym.
Right.
And so they turned the AC off at Devaney and tried to get the
To
players ready.
simulate
So
that.
it's again, so just the elements of going there. And Kentucky is a good volleyball team.
They
and
are.
so
They're
that was
ranked.
a really impressive performance coming off the loss to Stanford, Nicklin Hames not being on the court. I thought, yeah, really impressive by Husker volleyball.
Very good. They did slip a spot in the national polls. Who cares at this point in time of the season? They're going to be just fine. Conference play begins Friday. We will have Coach in tomorrow night, hour number 2, for his weekly coaches show. They also had a flight delay. Their charter, something went wrong with it. They had to get a different plane to Lincoln, so they were way late getting to Lexington on Saturday night.
Oh, wow.
So they had to overcome that, and like you said, no AC in that old gym of Kentucky's, but man, did they look impressive yesterday. All right, 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a comment or question. We're going to hear Jessica's post-game interview with Travis Vokalek here in a couple of minutes. Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com will join us to talk about the national landscape of college football later on in the hour. Let's start up in Minnesota. Tim, lead us off this hour.
Good evening. Well, two things. I was remembering back to the Future 97 Elite grade that you narrated, and this is in response to the person asking about how much input players have in play calling and whatnot. I remember, what was it, at halftime, that one guard, Matt Hoskinson, had told one of the assistant coaches about how tired Tennessee was getting. He was told, tell it to the redhead. He told Osborne. Osborne definitely saw it his way, respected it, and implemented it, and the rest is history when it comes to that. The second thing, I'm curious, Greg, what you and Matt, more so from the Huskers, like mentality, focus, and what you saw, what you guys saw Saturday evening or Saturday during the game, especially on the defensive side. That's kind of the main thing. I'm struggling, frustrated, bewildered by what's happening. I'm just I do have some perspective that that's kind of marinating, and maybe I'll share that a little bit later. But that's what I got.
All right, Tim, thanks. Yeah, I think the most baffling play to me, and my call, I think, went this way, was that Gabriel scored on that run. I just did not think there was any way he was going to get to the end zone, because I thought 2, 3, or 4 Huskers should have, could have knocked him out of bounds or tackled him. And
that was just such a momentum swing. I mean,
Huskers lead.
And it was so loud in the stadium, and it just, you have a chance to get the ball right back to your offense, and it just was so deflating. And it was almost like he got a first down, and then they kind of, again, what I was talking about how do you respond when things don't go your way? I mean, it was open. He got the first down. Okay, well, just get him down, and then you go from there. Right. Instead, you let him rip off 62 yards and into the end zone. And so, and that was one of the things Mickey Joseph said. That's what all of the defensive coaches were saying. I mean, you got to get him down. You got to get there. And so, yeah, that was pretty frustrating.
Yeah, it sure was. And like I said, at no point during that call that I think he was going to score. We did the TV show yesterday with Coach Joseph, and when that play came up, I could visibly see him shaking. He was so upset about the way Nebraska handled that play. Yeah, I mean, and again, okay, he gets a first down, but somebody go knock him out of bounds. Because wouldn't you'd much rather, the way that they were playing at that point, they had not, Oklahoma was not moving the ball as well. They, maybe you hold them to a field goal at that point. Right. I mean, just get him down, get him out of bounds, and then you go from there, you regroup, and you try to keep him from getting into the end zone. But then it was just, that just sparked Oklahoma after that. And yeah, it really needed to get him down and make a play. And I'm with you. I mean, I can't see as good as you do, but I was like, he scored? What's going on? Yeah. Because I thought for sure he was going out of bounds. Me too. I thought he was just going to kind of angle out of bounds and run out of bounds. But to his credit, he stayed in bounds, and he saw, hey, nobody's going to knock me out of here. I'm going to go ahead and finish this play off. Let's stay in Lincoln and chat with Jim next. Good evening, Jim.
Thank you for taking my call. I'll tell you what, I was really disappointed in the effort that the guys have made. And there was a point you made in the start this hour about the conditions at Kentucky. Okay? John Cook has his team ready every single game because his practices are way tougher than the games are. He has that team ready to go 5 sets every night against the best teams in the country. This team, to me, doesn't practice hard enough, because if your practices are tougher than your games, which they were back in the day, then you'll just be that much better off. I just wanted your thought. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't see enough practices to know. I just remember, and I'm kind of chuckling here because of the fury that it developed a month ago when the comment came out that the offensive linemen were vomiting all the times in practice, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, you're working the guys too hard if they're vomiting, and now we're all the soft practices, they don't work hard. Which is it?
And to me, I don't know if I'd say so much that you can compare the practices. It's that volleyball team wins, and it's a program that's been winning.
It's in their mentality.
They believe that when they step out on the court that they're going to win every single time.
Right.
this Nebraska football team has just not won enough. They need some wins.
Exactly right.
So, I mean, maybe the practices, again, we don't see enough to really be able to dive into that and compare it. And I don't go to enough volleyball practices to compare. But I do know that there's a different kind of confidence, a different kind of belief between the volleyball program that is competing for national titles and a football team that has lost a lot of one-score games.
When that volleyball team lost sets 3 and 4 Creighton, everybody in their huddle would have said, we're going to win.
Yes.
And they go and do it.
Yes.
That's the difference.
And at the end of football games, a lot of times maybe these football players, just because they've lost so many close at the end,
they don't believe
there's doubt. I mean,
right.
And Jeremiah Searles went into that about how he's been part of teams that they were right there and they couldn't figure out a way to win. And that, as much as you try to tell yourself and all throughout the week you prepare, but until you find a way to get it done and win and get over that hump, that doubt is always there.
Absolutely. Well, after it was great to see Travis Vokalek back on the field. I thought he played pretty well, played more than maybe I thought he was going to play coming off the injury, but he was one of the players they made available to talk to after the game, and you grabbed a hold of him.
And I think him and Nick Henrich were two of the guys that were absolutely, I'll step up to the mic, and they haven't been able to be there and talk because they haven't played. So, yeah, here is Travis Vokalek postgame. Welcome back into the Locker Room Show here with Travis Vokalek. Well, I know disappointing end to this one, but how good did it feel for you to be able to get back out there?
Yeah, it felt awesome. Being out the past couple of weeks with an injury always sucks, but I was just happy to get back out there with the guys. I love being around this team. I love this team, everything about it. We're not going to give up, and we're excited for the next challenge in 2 weeks.
How did you feel personally? Do you feel 100%?
Yeah, I felt great. Been practicing this week. Been a little iffy and not, but it's really gotten better, and I was confident in what I was doing out there, so I was excited to be back out there.
Coach Joseph talked this week about the importance of the leaders, kind of helping to lead this team through some hard times right now. What is your role in this, and how important is it for you to step up? Because as a team captain.
Yeah, it's very important. There's these games don't define us as a team. That's the most important thing that guys on the team need to understand. We can get better each week. We're going to get better each week. We're going to get better each day. The goal's the same. The mission's the same. Nothing changes just because the season hasn't started off how we want it to be. But we got a lot of challenges, a lot of games ahead of us, and there's a long way to go. But we're gonna get better every day.
Yeah, how good is that you've only played one conference game? There's still a lot of ball left to be played.
Yeah, like I said, it doesn't define our season, and I think guys do understand that. And we have a lot of opportunity in front of us. The season's a long season, as a lot of people know. So there's a lot of opportunity, and we're excited to get back out there.
What does the offense need to do here in the bye week to be ready to go?
Yeah, we can always make improvements. Skill-wise, just going through different drills, really working technique, really working details, stuff like that. So I think that's something we'll be working pretty hardcore in the next week.
Thanks for your time. Glad to see you back out there.
Yep, thank you.
All right, that is Travis Vokalek from the Locker Room. Final segment here on the Locker Room Show coming up right after this. Obviously, that was from the Locker Room Show. Yeah. So, you heard him say it. Nick Henrich said it. Were they frustrated? Are they disappointed? Yeah, but they like this team, and they still believe in the guys in the locker room. They've just got to figure some things out mentally. Obviously, the defense has some work to do, but I just hope that they can really address some of those things. Because for me, and I understand that outcome, it was not pretty, and it was not pretty what we saw on the field on Saturday. But I think it's hard for me to actually say how good or how not good this football team is, because I think a lot of it is mental right now.
Totally agree. There's talent on this football team, more than what we've seen them execute there. Now, that's on the coaches, absolutely, to get the most out of this team. I don't think that's happened at this point in time. I just want to salute Travis, Nick, all the guys. Miles, I think, was the other one. That takes something. You just got your butt kicked to come up there and answer questions. It's been a rough week. Head coach has been fired. They didn't know at that time the defensive coordinator was going to be, but those guys stood up there and faced the music. I applaud them.
Yeah, Miles was great too, and I know he's been a guy that people have been hard on. He's been hard on himself, and he answered the question. He did an interview with me as well, and Nick, and I think again, this bye week is coming at a really good time, and they know, and I think it too meant a lot because Coach Joseph picked 3 guys to talk after the game, and Miles was one of those guys. He's not a captain, but he was one of the ones that Coach Joseph called on. I think that meant a lot to Miles. I think Miles believes in Mickey Joseph, and I think a lot of those players do. Is this how they wanted this to go with their head coach and then now their defensive coordinator? Absolutely not, but I do think they really like Mickey and believe in Mickey, and so I think he was, once Mickey chose him to get up there, he was like, you know what, okay, I'll do it. And so he was great as well, and so was Nick.
Very good. Hey, buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Well, if the Huskers return the first or second half opening kickoff for a touchdown this season, you could win $54,000 of credit on a new vehicle from any Woodhouse Auto Family dealership. A contestant is chosen before every game. Go to Huskers.com/Woodhouse for official rules and how to get yourself entered. When we come back, Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com, he will join me next.
Do you want your date to wait for your interlock device to let you drive? Your kids to ask why you have an ankle bracelet? Or your boss to see your criminal history? Do you want to miss important life events because of house arrest? Get a ride. A DUI costs more than you think.
Brought to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
There is no place like Nebraska, and there is no place that treats you like your home like Sapp Brothers. For over 50 years, Sapp Brothers has fueled America's heartland and has been a reliable partner to local farms, businesses, and Huskers fans across Nebraska, providing the highest quality fuel, lubricants, and propane, servicing your farming equipment, and welcoming guests into our travel centers. Visit www.sappbros.net. Sapp Brothers is proud to be an official partner of Huskers Athletics.
It's time for another round of Nebraska Farm Facts. If there's one thing Nebraska's known for, it's our beef. And Nebraska soybeans feed a lot of them, and even more pigs and chickens. Farmers and ranchers raise livestock and poultry to provide nutritious, affordable protein for all ages to help build muscle and maintain energy for a healthy lifestyle. Keep that in mind as you prepare all that tasty meat on your tailgate grill. This message is brought to you by Nebraska soybean farmers, growing opportunity from the ground up.
To win the game, you got to have more strength. You got to be tougher. You got to be reliable. You got to want it more than the other guy. And you need a great team you can count on, backing you up the whole time. Whether it's in the field with your Massey Ferguson or on the field with the Huskers, red is the color of getting it done quicker, smarter, and efficiently. So this season, make sure you're checking out the lineup that'll get more done where and when it counts. From your Nebraska Massey Ferguson dealers.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Triple B Feed has the products to help your cows thrive. Whether it's weekly delivery of consumption-controlled Lumix liquid minerals with protein or Redmond natural mineral salt for livestock or humans, Triple B has you covered. Let Brian and Brad Blahorn take some of the stress out of your beef production this year. For more information and other products, visit triplebfeed.com. Triple B Feed, helping you and your cattle.
Greatness doesn't happen overnight. It takes time, focus, and dedication. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that because we put in the hard work and dedication for decades. And that commitment is paid off with award-winning customer service for your auto, home, and life insurance.
See shelter agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont, Katie Barkman in Columbus, or Janelle Moore in Holdridge.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
Can you name one thing that's more exciting than football in Nebraska? Okay, maybe not, but there's something that comes close. Scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery. That's right. Choose from a variety of play styles with huge top prizes. There's something fun for everyone. So, when football isn't on, pick up some scratch tickets from the Nebraska Lottery.
Play is good. Go play. Odds vary by game.
We're back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by Acres. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres, solutions for every field. Delighted to be joined tonight by Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com, one of the preeminent college football writers in the country. Adam, great to have you with us. What a wild start to the season. There's been so many big-time storylines, including one here in Lincoln with the dismissal of Scott Frost. What do you make of the start of this season? You having fun with this thing?
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been boring. We've had coaching changes each of the last 2 Sundays. We've had some surprise teams. I mean, Kansas and Duke are playing this weekend, both at 3-0. Indiana's 3-0, so it's a good year for the basketball. The schools that are sort of known for basketball. But Georgia's continued to be dominant. But other than that, there's been a little bit of surprises here and there, and hard to really figure out, who else are going to be the kind of guaranteed playoff teams. You'd think Alabama, you'd think Ohio State. Michigan looks awfully good, but they haven't really been challenged so far. And so there's a lot of questions yet to be answered. And as you know, like I do, you can't take too much out of the first few weeks of the season. I think once you get to week 5, 6, 7, then you have more definitive answers about teams, players, and coaches.
Adam, Herm Edwards yesterday at Arizona State, do you anticipate some more coaching dismissals in the coming weeks, or do you think it'll slow down and wait till the end of the year?
No, I think we're now in a place, Greg, where you're seeing this as a trend, where teams, want to make a change earlier than later if they know they're kind of past the point of no return. Regardless of the money, as you know, in Nebraska, same thing with Arizona State, it seems. But you look at a situation like Auburn, which nearly made a change in the offseason with Brian Harsin, and it didn't perform well this past weekend against Penn State. If they were to struggle against Missouri, and I think LSU is next, you could see a change there. I mean, that wouldn't be surprising to anyone. Georgia Tech is a place where you could see a change. Colorado, which has really, really struggled, maybe more so than any Power 5 program so far. They just haven't been very competitive. They say they're going to push forward with Carl Durrell, but for how much longer if the results don't improve? So I just think we're in an era, Greg, where coaching changes are going to happen more frequently on these Sundays in September and October rather than at the end of the regular season.
Wow, interesting. Adam Rittenberg of ESPN.com with us. Adam, you had a great piece up last week about the powers of the 90s have really kind of lost their way. Nebraska's certainly a part of that. Tennessee, Florida State, Miami maybe is in that as well. Is there a common thread as you put this together of why the programs that were so dominant a couple of decades ago now seem to be lost?
Yeah, I think continuity is one, or lack of continuity. That's certainly been an issue at Nebraska. I wrote about that when exploring Nebraska's first 10 years in the Big Ten, how there just wasn't a whole lot of continuity from a coach or athletic director perspective. That certainly is the case at Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's leadership was really stable throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s, and then it's been a mess, honestly, the last 10, 15 years with coaches and administrators kind of going in and out of Knoxville. And so that's been an issue for that program. I think there's some element of it was probably never going to get better than that time. I look at Virginia Tech, for example. I don't know if Virginia Tech will ever recapture what Frank Beamer had in the late 90s and the initial 2000s. Doesn't mean they can't be a better program going forward, and they might be, but than they have recently. But to be a nationally elite program, that's tough. I think it's a tough ask at Nebraska. Miami's interesting because now they have money behind their program. That was probably their issue, is that they had for too long just relied on the fact that they had won national championships in the city of Miami without putting a lot of money into the program, and that was hard to sustain when Clemson and Alabama and Ohio State and Georgia are so far ahead from a financial perspective. And so Miami's now realizing that you have to invest, and with the right coach they believe in place in Mario Cristobal, that's a program that could get back to the national stage. I don't know if any of the others that I detailed in that piece necessarily have that potential. Maybe Tennessee does. But I think Miami's the one that I look at and say, okay, at least they seem to be doing the right things, and they certainly still have the geographic advantage to be an elite program.
You and I in the past have talked about the Sun Belt, and the Sun Belt, Fun Belt, right? And they almost got another big one on Saturday as South Alabama almost knocked off UCLA. Pretty good football played in that league, isn't it?
It has, and they've taken a different approach to realignment than some of the other leagues, and trying to have rivalries and not to worry so much about markets. And they have some really good teams, obviously. And Appalachian State's had this incredible season, which continued with their Hail Mary win over Troy. They had the big win the week before at Texas A&M. But you go into a matchup with a team, again, in Louisiana had been that team, honestly. Right. Under Billy Napier, they have a new head coach this year, so there might be some transition there, but others seem to pick up the slack. Coastal Carolina, we haven't even talked about them. They haven't really been in any of those games yet, but they're like 25-3 since the start of the 2020 season. So it's going to be fun when those league games get going, because that race could go a number of different directions. And certainly will be enjoyable for all those fan bases. And there's a lot of really passionate fan bases. I think everybody got to see with College Game Day at Appalachian State just what that fan base is and means to that program. And it's like that a lot of places around the Sun Belt. So it's been fun to watch.
Sure has. And that Coastal Carolina coach is he's maybe a name to keep an eye on for one of the bigger jobs opening up here this fall. Texas, I want your thoughts on Texas. I think everybody was surprised that they pushed Bama the way they did. Were you surprised, or how surprised were you? I'm sure you were surprised. How surprised were you, and what's Texas ceiling this year?
Greg, I was there for the first week when they played Louisiana Monroe, and they handled them pretty easily. And Quinn Ewers, I thought, played a good game at quarterback after an early interception. But just being around some of the writers afterward, there was a feeling like this is kind of the same team. Maybe a little bit better defensively. Maybe won't hurt themselves as much, but probably isn't a team that's going to win 10 or 11 games. And so I think everyone was surprised at how well they performed the following week against Alabama. Now, unfortunately, Quinn Ewers went down with an injury, and likely will be out a little bit longer, but will return this season. And so Texas can just continue to win and continue to make strides. I think having Gary Patterson on the staff, even though he's not in an official on-field role, he's certainly helping with that defense. Is one of the great defensive coaches of this generation. So I get the chance to see Gary after the game, and it's just weird to see him in burnt orange, but he's certainly helping that team, and Pete Kwiatkowski as well as the coordinator there. I just think that defense is a lot further along. And Greg, they have dudes. I mean, you look at their offense. I was on the field for warm-ups, and Bijan Robinson is incredible. They have depth at running back. They have some options at receiver. They have a really good tight end in JT Sanders. And if their offensive line, which is very young, can hold up in the Big 12, I think they're going to have a chance to win a lot of games this fall.
Adam, I got a chance to see Oklahoma, obviously, Saturday. I think they're really solid. How about Oklahoma's old coach, Lincoln Riley? What do you make of what he's done already at USC?
Yeah, it's been very impressive, Greg. And I think one thing, I was on a radio show earlier today with Rick Neuheisel, and Rick brought up this point, which I'm starting to agree with. Maybe both USC and Oklahoma ended up with a win-win. I know there was a lot of bitter feelings in the state about Lincoln's departure, but you saw Oklahoma and what Brent Venables is doing there. I think the schematic edge that he brings and his personality to help that defense is going to help. And then obviously with USC, they've had tremendous success immediately. I mean, and an offense that's so difficult to stop from a schematic perspective, but from a talent perspective, they're so good at receiver. Caleb Williams is outstanding. They have multiple backs that can hurt you. And then Lincoln's schemes are, as you know, very, very difficult to defend. I think defensively, what they've been able to do early on has stood out, because I still don't think that they're where they're going to be on a talent standpoint and a depth standpoint on defense, but they're making plays. And that's encouraging for Alex Grinch, their coordinator, and that staff, that they're finding a way to take the ball away. And if you have an offense as good as they've been, that's all you need. Just take a couple of possessions, because you're going to score at least 35 points a game, it looks like. I don't see many teams keeping USC under 35 or 30 points. So if they can just steal a few possessions on the defensive side, it's going to be a really tough team to beat this fall.
Going to be interesting out there in the Pac-12. They've got to go to Corvallis this weekend. I think that's a sneaky good game coming up this week. Utah, I know, lost a heartbreaker in the Swamp. Are they totally out of a playoff picture, or can they rally if they run the table from here and maybe get back in the discussion at all?
Yeah, they can. I think because the Pac-12 is stronger this year, and some of those wins. The problem for a lot of the teams in the Pac-12, they've lost too many games out of conference, but like their wins in the league haven't resonated as much. I think you beat a USC, if you're Utah, that's going to resonate.
Yeah.
You maybe beat a Washington or an Oregon. That win is going to matter in the eyes of the playoff committee. Oregon just got a big win over BYU. Washington just got a big win over Michigan State. And so, Utah can't help itself outside of the conference too much. And that Florida loss may not look all that great at the end of the season. But I think because of the strength of the league, which seems to have taken a few steps up, that's a good sign for the Utes, and they are a heck of a team. They should have won that game. It felt very similar to me, Greg, as Oregon against Auburn in the 2019 opener. It was actually Bo Nix's first game for Auburn. Now he's the Oregon quarterback, and Auburn was able to come back and win that game, but everyone sitting in that stadium knew Oregon was the better team. I think that was the same case with Utah, and that's what's so frustrating, is that they were better than Florida, but still walked off the field as a losing team.
All right, I saved my toughest one for last. Who is going to win the West in the Big Ten?
God. Yeah, someone's got to win, right? Can
Yeah.
we check the bylaws that someone has to win? I think Minnesota's got as great a chance as they ever have, and it's a team, I realize, that hasn't won a Big Ten championship since 1967, and we're not saying that they need to win the Big Ten, just the division. Obviously, a big blow with losing their top receiver, Chris Ottman-Bell, for the season, unfortunately, with a leg injury. But I like their experience level on both sides of the ball. I like the fact that Kirk Chiraka is their offensive play caller. Again, Joe Rossi's done a great job with their defense now for a number of years, but they haven't really been tested. So that's a team. It's one game I'm fascinated to see this week, going to Michigan State, a Michigan State team that certainly isn't happy with itself after the Washington loss, but can still go to 1-0 in the Big Ten. And Minnesota's got to go to Penn State as well. So their crossover schedule in the Big Ten could end up being the difference when you're going against a Wisconsin or an Iowa or someone else in the West. But given the struggles at Illinois, not Illinois, at Nebraska, at Northwestern, Purdue's an under 500 team, I think Minnesota's got a really good opportunity to win its first division championship.
Awesome. Adam, as always, great to catch up, and keep enjoying the heck out of this season, and keep up the great work.
You too, Greg. Always appreciate you.
Adam joined us on our Sports Nightly hotline, brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime with 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. All right, phone lines back open for you, 402-413-2400. That also doubles up as our text line. Jessica will rejoin me next.
Woodhouse Mazda and Woodhouse Place Mazda are the Omaha Metro's exclusive Mazda dealers. Conveniently located in Bellevue or in Millard off 144th and Giles Road. You can shop, finance, and buy your next Mazda SUV or sedan your way. Our friendly and knowledgeable staff will guide you to your next vehicle, and our full service department is there for you when your vehicle needs maintenance. Visit us at woodhousemazda.com or woodhouseplacemazda.com to learn more.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm Student Government President Jake Drake with Campus News. A record 54 Husker students earned the Benjamin A. Gilman International Scholarship in the 2021-2022 academic year. This nationally competitive scholarship provides funding for study and internship abroad opportunities for high-achieving students who might not otherwise be able to afford them. Recipients include students from Crete, Norfolk, North Platte, Raymond, Omaha, and Lincoln.
Touchdown, Nebraska! If you're doing business in Nebraska, the best way to connect your organization with the excitement surrounding the Huskers is through a partnership with Nebraska Athletics. You can take your business to the next level by reaching loyal Husker fans through in-venue signage, digital and social media, radio advertising, and more. Join the Husker team today and email partners@huskers.com to learn more about opportunities to connect with Husker Nation. That's partners@huskers.com.
Here's to the locals, raised right here in the Western Corn Belt. The strong ones. We help them grow stronger, making world-class genetics research and technology local. The cutting-edge yet common-sense agronomy, the shake-em-up yields. Because we're born and raised here too. And we'll keep raising the bar to ensure you only get the best at Hogemeyer. Raised local, raised right here. Learn more at therightseed.com.
Every day, Central Valley Ag supplies ranchers with calf starter to prompt maximum absorption of nutrients so calves transition in days, not weeks. Let CVA help you formulate the right plan to ensure weaning success in your herd. Register to win 40 bags of CVA Impact Starter with Amafirm when you go online to cvacoop.com. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag, the official co-op of Husker Nation.
More Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic care first. Studies show that chiropractic is safe, drug-free, and the most effective treatment option for back, neck, and joint pain. It can also help patients of all ages reduce migraines, improve mobility, and maximize athletic performance. Keep the entire family healthy and active with natural, cost-effective chiropractic care. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear gas prices, go take a hike. Toyota is the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. The Toyota hybrid lineup brings efficiency with power, savings with style, and top-notch tech to keep you connected. Not to mention plush premium interiors and the most advanced Toyota safety features. So, now you know who you're talking to. Toyota, the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years. Toyota, the brand with a hybrid or electric vehicle for every driver. Toyota, the brand that helps save you money at the pump. Now, let me ask you a question, dear gas prices. You really think you can stand in the way of the #1 retail brand for electrified vehicles for 22 years? Think again. Toyota Hybrids. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Based on manufacturer estimates, CY 2000 through 2021 sales.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen.
See shelter agents Paul Hoos or Joni Rodabaugh in Grand Island, or an Ord Sea agent Matt Woodward.
Beardmore Subaru celebrates Nebraska volleyball again this season. 5 national championships, 47 All-Americans, and a home sellout streak dating back to 2001. The longest streak for any women's sport in NCAA history. Beardmore Subaru has been a proud supporter of Husker volleyball for more than 10 years. Beardmore Subaru in Bellevue has the new Subaru Outback Wilderness, loaded with off-road ready upgrades, and the new Solterra, Subaru's first ever all-electric and all-wheel drive vehicle. Go Big Red.
When you're prepared for life, you get more out of life. When you're prepared, you spend less time worrying and more time doing the things you love. How prepared are you? When you're ready to find out, Emeritus is ready to help. First, we get to know you. Then we make a plan together, one that lets you enjoy today and prepare for tomorrow. That's what we call fulfilling life. Emeritus, insurance, employee benefits, financial services.
For 46 years, our focus has been our customers at Sid Dillon Buick GMC Cadillac in Fremont. Come see for yourself how easy buying your new car, truck, or SUV at Sid Dillon can be. Stop by our dealership in Fremont to order your new vehicle and shop in-stock and inbound inventory. And if you need a commercial vehicle, we're your GMC Business Elite dealer. Shop at SidDillonBuickGMC.com.
You are what drives us, Sid Dillon.
GMC, we are professional grade.
Back inside our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, which is sponsored by Acres, the Midwest's premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Acres solutions for every field. Time to see what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. Husker softball will have one of their fall ball games against UNK tomorrow night at Bowlin Stadium at 6:30. Huskers soccer, a 1-0 winner Friday over Minnesota in their league opener, will continue Big Ten play Thursday at Hibner. Northwestern will be the opponent, 7:05 out at Hibner. Husker volleyball will start league play Friday night with Michigan State at the Devaney Center at 7 o'clock. They'll then turn around play Ohio State Saturday night, also at 7 o'clock. Both those matches right here on HRN. That is what is on tap, presented by Bud Light. 402-413-2400, the number to dot us up with a comment or question. Not one, but 2 Monday Night Football games. That's kind of cool.
Yes. We got to get set up for it, too, although my back's to the big TV. But
the Bills are leading 17-7, but they got a player that got hurt. Looked like a neck injury on a wicked hit late in the first half. But they lead Tennessee 17-7. And the Eagles have gone right down the field and scored early against the Vikings. I like the Vikings. I don't know if I've told you guys that, but I like the Vikings.
Yes, Super Bowl pick, right? How about my Super Bowl pick?
And Andrew's got the Cowboys. They're 1-1. Your pick was
Denver.
Boy, they did not look very well coached yesterday. The Broncos. They had to call a bunch of
yesterday
timeouts. Or last week.
A week ago.
They won, though, yesterday. So
True.
they're 1-1. So you bucked the trend because we all went Buffalo.
Yes, I was trying to be different.
Yeah. Tim, your pick was Buffalo and who? 49ers. They're okay. Lance got hurt, broke his ankle. Now they go Jimmy G. Good thing they didn't get rid of Jimmy G. Good for that. Mickey Joseph will meet with the media tomorrow. We'll have the highlights of that for you tomorrow night here on the program. He's going to talk about, obviously, the move of the defensive coordinator, and I think probably more about what the week will be like for the Huskers. And we do have a volleyball show tomorrow night with John Cook. That's it for football availability for the week, Jessica. With the bye week, it's just tomorrow. That's the only thing we'll hear from the football department all week long.
Yeah, and normally you don't hear from them in a bye week at all.
Right.
But I think just with the the moving parts and all of that, and we'll see moving forward. But yeah, hopefully back to hearing from players, and I think they need a break. And it's hard to stand up there and answer questions.
It is.
And talk about coaches that they loved and chose to come play for. And we got to remember these are young kids. A lot of them 17, 18, 19 years old, and this is not easy for them to go through. And they certainly don't want to be playing as badly as they've been playing and be in the position that they've been playing. But, I mean, a lot of them are just really, really good kids, and we said that from the start, and so we just got to – this is hard for them. So I think it's good. Let them have a week off. And in addition, I know 3 of the leaders of the team spoke after the game on Saturday, and they had the week off last week. Give them this week off, and then hopefully they'll come rejuvenated because, again – a lot to play for. And I understand that there's some doubt in this team right now, but there is still a lot on the line to play for. That, only one conference game in the rearview mirror. You got a lot on the line there, and some of these Big Ten teams have not looked like world beaters.
That's exactly right.
Have not looked like world beaters. So there's still a lot to play for in this season.
Let's go to the phones. Jim in York up next. Good evening, Jim.
Yeah, hello. How you doing today?
Great, thank you.
See, I was watching that game. I was watching it on TV. I watched the spring game a little bit. Now, this Chubba Purdy, he looks. I mean, he's got some circus in him. He's like Mackenzie Milton was. Mackenzie Milton made Frost look like a pretty good coach down Central Florida. I kind of think Chubba Purdy has some of the same traits. He's quick. He's got a strong arm. He's fast. This guy looks like a real deal. What do you think?
I like Chubba too. I'm glad he got in the game, and I think it was important for him to play some because it's going to be a long season, and maybe he can provide a bit of a spark. But I thought he did some good things. He obviously threw an interception, which you can't make that throw that he did, but he maybe has a little bit more foot speed than Casey does.
Yeah, and again, I know that Casey had taped up and retaped, and so maybe tweaked a little bit, who knows, but give Casey some time, and if that happens again, you might need him. And Chubb hasn't really been able to play.
No.
So give him some experience, and then not to mention he's a redshirt freshman, right?
Redshirt freshman.
So a lot of availability left with him too. So
comes from good bloodlines. His brother was a really good player at Iowa State, and a lot of people think Chubba in high school graded out better than Brock did as a high school quarterback.
Yeah, he was really highly recruited, and I think he's got a good understanding of the offense. I think that whole quarterback room does.
I do too.
I think they really attack the film. I think Casey and Chubba both, they understand the playbook, and just seeing how all of the quarterbacks interact in games. I mean, you're seeing Chubba talking to players, talking to wide receivers, talking to, tight ends. I think Chubba is communicating what he's seeing, and Casey and Chubba have a lot of conversations on the sideline. So I think this quarterback room as a whole has some depth, and they like each other, and they're trying to help each other and do whatever they can to help this offense.
Jim, appreciate the call. Time to tell you to buckle up, put the phone down. A reminder from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Still time if you want to be a part of it, 402-413-2400. We're back with everybody's weekend winners. We'll do that next.
Husker fans, join us in celebrating excellence in women's athletics. Meet student athletes and alumni from every Nebraska women's program and commemorate the 50th anniversary of Title IX at the More is Possible Rally on Saturday, October 8th at Bolin Stadium. This event will begin at 10:30 a.m. and is free for all ages. Register today at huskers.com/Title IX.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Whether you compete on the court, at the track, on the field, or in the fields, winning isn't just a goal. It's a mindset, shaped, honed, and defined throughout the season. That's why farmers pushing themselves to be the best plant DeKalb brand corn. Wherever you compete, winning has roots. Perform at your best with DeKalb. Always read and follow grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
While some seed companies put a greater stake in stock prices and anonymous shareholders, Rob Seco knows that what's important to you hits closer to home. That's why you'll find we're focused on your needs. With a simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, a relationship that makes it easy to connect with anyone in the company, and the technology, traits, and genetics you need from any source. Put your stock in the company that puts you first. Rob Seco.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Families who travel to Nebraska's only Ronald McDonald House are facing extremely uncomfortable situations. Their child is sick in an unfamiliar city, unsure of how to handle it all. But when they walk in the Ronald McDonald House, they can find comfort in the little things. A quiet moment away from the bombardment of beeps and buzzes in a hospital room. The taste of a home-cooked meal. A calming voice saying it'll be okay. Help us provide the little things that make a big difference. Support a one-night stay for a family in need by visiting rmhcomaha.org/Huskers.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Our Sports Hotline Hotline brought to you by Woodhouse, where you can shop your way from one of the 16 convenient locations or online at woodhouse.com anytime. 18 brands and a huge selection of pre-owned. You can always find what you are looking for with Woodhouse. To the phones we go, over to Auburn and Caden. Good evening, Caden. Welcome to the program.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, thanks.
I was just wondering if we've heard anything more on the coaching situation. I'd like to see Mickey, how he does finishes out the season, maybe bring him back. I like the energy he brought on the sideline before the game. Maybe Jim Leonard from Wisconsin, their defensive coordinator. I think we should stay away from Urban Meyer. He's older, and then the scandals follow him everywhere. So just wondering what you guys thought.
All right, Caden. Yeah, I mean, a long way to go before I think we're probably 2.5 months before Nebraska names a new head coach. You're going to hear a lot of names. And I think that the plan is to let Mickey see what he can do over the next 8 weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just see what he can do. It's been one game against a really good football team and some of the best talent that maybe they'll see for a while. And so see how he can turn things around, but also who knows how this thing is going to unfold. I've said this before, and you look at last year and how some coaches ended up at places that you wouldn't have thought for a second. Chip Kelly, Lincoln Riley, that would have left the places they were at. And also, I'm not one that likes to buy into a certain coach just because of 3 games into a season. Let's really see how things unfold. I think take your time, figure out who's going to be the right guy for this job.
Yeah. All right, weekend winners. What do you have?
I'm going with the fans that showed up for the Fox set and the Big Noon kickoff, because I know the Fox crew was really, really impressed with the crowd that they got a week ago when they were at Alabama, Texas. College Game Day was also there. The crowd wasn't as good for them there as it was here, and they were really, really excited about the turnout and how much energy Husker fans brought before the game. I understand, the exit of fans when the game got out of hand, but at least on national television for that show, it was really impressive.
Looked good. Tim?
I debated between 2 quarterbacks. I already went to New York last week. I'm not going to do it again, but a hat tip to Joe Flacco for leading an improbable comeback at his age to the Browns, against the Browns rather, for the Jets. But I'm going to go with Tua Tagovailoa. Going into the season, that guy has been ridiculed by a lot of different fan bases, a lot of social media stuff where they put clips of him that were supposed to be highlights in training camp, and people were making fun of him because he's underthrowing Tyreek Hill, but he had 6 touchdowns on Sunday. Yeah, I think 3 of them came in the fourth quarter. He had a great comeback against the Ravens, so I'm going with Tua.
Okay. Andrew?
Getting pretty close to ending out this show, but I'm going to go real quick and just say my winner is the Las Vegas Aces WNBA team.
Yes.
I'm a huge fan of Kelsey Plum.
There you go.
Me too. Love
and
that.
I'm a huge fan of her, and they had a great run last year. Couldn't get it done, but congratulations to those ladies.
Very good. I'm going Husker soccer. Shut out Minnesota Friday night, 1-0. They're 1-0 in the league. 3 big points they picked up, and they've got Northwestern coming to Hibner on Thursday night. And how about the basketball schools on the football gridiron? Duke, Carolina, Indiana, Kansas, Kentucky, UCLA, all undefeated. How about that?
Wow.
The Big 5 and Big 6 in college hoops all undefeated. That's going to change this week. Duke and Kansas play in Lawrence. How about that?
You might know someone going to that game, I heard.
For $5. All right, that'll do it for tonight's show. We'll have comments from Mickey Joseph tomorrow. He meets with the media, and it's our volleyball show. John Cook here for an entire hour. Have yourself a great night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
It's more powerful than the legendary Husker option offense. More powerful than the black shirt defense. It's the sun, and you can harness its power with J-Tech Solar. J-Tech, the official solar energy experts of the Huskers, can help you shrink your energy bills and start saving money now. Solar power is clean, affordable, and it's dependable because the sun always shines on the Huskers. J-Tech Solar for your home, business, or agriculture energy needs. Visit jtechsolar.com.
Bank of the West is offering the first checking account designed for climate action. It gives back 1% of the account's net revenue to the planet at no cost to you. Shows you the estimated carbon impact of debit card purchases. And there's no minimum balance required. Learn more at bankofthewest.com/1%. Additional conditions apply. Member FDIC.
The name on the mailbox may say Smith, Myers, Baumgartner, or Johnson, but when you choose to plant with Rob Seco, it includes your name too, making you a stockholder in a company that's invested in you. With the simplicity that makes us easy to do business with, relationships that bring more to the table, the technology, traits, and genetics that take on local conditions, and people with the know-how to use it. At Rob Seco, the only stockholder we listen to is you.
You already got the hat, the jersey, maybe even the occasional red and white face paint. So kick things off right this season and add the FNBO Husker Visa debit card to the list. Pay loud and proud for every Husker decal, t-shirt, or hot dog at the game. Wear your heart on your sleeve and in your wallet with the Husker Visa debit card, free with any checking account from FNBO, the bank